Hey, we're in week 18 of Bubble Watch. Yeah, that's my series where we go into the MLS system. We look at these numbers up here in the Jacksonville metro area of North Florida to see if that real estate housing bubble is getting ready to burst. Hey, I go over actives, the pendings, the withdrawals, expires, all that solds. We look at new construction. We started looking at the foreclosures also. Go through a lot of facts, and we seem to be adding more every week. But I just take the numbers, the real numbers here in real time, and show you those numbers, and then let you decide. Of course, I mix a little bit of my opinion in there too. Hey, we've got a lot to get to here. We're going to get started. So we're going to get started in 3. Hi, I'm Tom Kerr, and I'm the host of this series, Bubble Watch. You know what? I'm just a regular guy, but I happen to be a real estate agent up here in the Jacksonville metro area of North Florida. And because of that, I got my MLS account that I can share with you the back end to look at these real numbers in real time to see what's going on so we can kind of track this market. Hey, I get a lot of calls from folks all the time, either looking to relocate in North Florida, some want to leave, but that's okay. All you got to do is text me, call me, send me an email if you're interested in relocating here or need help selling your house and moving out. All right, let's get to the back end of my MLS and get to these numbers right away. Okay, as usual, we start off with the actives, and remember, we're going 1 week back in all the other stats, but the actives, we see what's currently active right here in the Northeast Florida MLS. And there we've got 6,433. Next, we're going to see what sold in the last week. 428. Okay, contingent taking backup, 790. Pending, and these went under contract in the last week, 649. Look at how many people withdrew their listings, 100. How many people let their listings expire, 137. Let's take a look at those new homes. So new construction that sold, 46. And how many new construction are active? Oh, that ain't right. There we go, 1530. Right now we're going to check out those in the foreclosure umbrella. Now this part is where I look at the foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, and short sales, okay? And what I'm looking at is how many out of the active, okay, that are up there for sale are these type foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, and short sales. So let's take a look. Okay, of the foreclosed, we're at 11. Pre-foreclosures is 11. Short sales is 5. Okay, now is where I take all these numbers and I go ahead and I put them in a chart, because like I said, we've been doing this for 18 weeks, okay? Now, and the reason I started all this was because people 18 weeks ago thought that the bubble was coming and was ready to burst, and they said, boy, when those interest rates go up, that's really going to kill it. So we're going to take a look now. We're going to put these all in that chart and look back from week 1 all the way out. I'll scan it through, and like I said, it may go a little fast, but you can always pause the video if you want to look at the chart and really compare those numbers. But let's put those numbers into that chart right now. Okay, the actives was 6,433. Sold was 428. Contingent taking backup, 790. Pending, 649. Withdrawal was 100. Expires, 137. New homes sold, 46. And the new homes active is 1530. All right, here we go again. Last week, Man, the solds fell off the cliff. Okay, I mean everything. You know, the new construction and the regulars, and everyone's saying, "This is it. Okay, this is what we've been waiting for." I know there's some of you out there that have been cheering for this, and we're waiting for these numbers to come down here. And because the interest rates really started shooting up, remember last week they were going, those arrows are going up and going into the sixes, and we're going to see what those interest rates have done here, because now the sales have gone back up. It looks like that burst bubble, maybe some of you may have called it too soon, looks like we may have to back that bubble back up. Okay, look at this here. Last week, the solds 352, the worst, and now it jumped back up to 428. Okay, now because we're getting so crowded here with this, let me scroll these numbers. You keep track there. We're at week 6 there in the beginning, but we're going to go all the way back here to week 1, and you can see how those solds did before. And look at that, we had like the solds in week 13 and 14 were 439, 437, this is 428, so we're going up. All right, look at that new construction. 29 last week, where it, like I said, fell off the cliff also, and up 46. Okay, I mean, we almost doubled. And the inventory course keeps going up. Look at the top line there for all the actives, and that active keeps going up. Now remember, you know, 2 weeks ago we were saying, like, you know, we'll have to see what these interest rates are going to do, if they're going to affect things. And then sure enough, I mean, these sales dropped, you know, when that happened. So let's take a quick look at the interest rates and see, you know, how it compares to what we're seeing here. So they must have dropped some because these numbers went up for the sales. Okay, here as we look at the rates, well, they sure didn't drop, except for one day, huh? One day there, and then everything, we've got red arrows all the way up, and boy, a big red arrow on September 13th. Lucky 13, right? My goodness, and then they kept going up and closed today at 6.33. All right, right, okay, let's try to figure it out, all right? The rates shot up, the highest they've been here, okay, for a while, because they went up in the sixes, you know, a few months ago. But, you know, we would have thought we would have seen the sales really going down. Now, so what were people anticipating them going up, so they're starting to buy? Or are we just seeing like a market normalizing, people getting used to these rates, and the people that are looking for housing, that they can, you know, this is what they have to deal with right now if you need housing. Hey, let's look at the rest of those numbers on the chart for the pendings and all that. Let's see how they played out. Okay, the contingent taken back up, it's been staying around the same there, 790. And the pending, 649. Yeah, a little fluctuate, more than last week. But you know, when you look over the past weeks, you know, it's remained about there. Withdrawn, people that have withdrawn, 100. Okay, you know, I mean, we had that one blip there in week 10, but then I don't know, maybe that's when the interest rates really shot up. I don't remember exactly. And then the expireds, 137. Okay, and then of course the new homes right there. Well, this headline seems to capture it all. Confused about the housing market? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, a lot of people are confused about the housing market. I mean, definitely. So, all right, what we want to do now, we want to look at that price per square foot, okay? Because now we're seeing more people buying, okay? Is that generating, you know, going to cause, you know, the prices to go up? Because the prices have stayed pretty high. Even though there's a lot, and we're going to track those, the percentage that, it's going to be interesting to see the percentage that sold below list on both new construction and also the existing homes, and we're going to look at that and we'll chart all that. But let's see where we're at with that price per square foot. Okay, look at that notch there. It's dropping. Okay, this you know, climb that was going on for a while, then it plateaued, and then it dropped, you know, last week or the week before, went down to 201, and now it's at flat 200 per square foot. Okay, 200 per square foot is still pretty up there. And of course, I haven't seen nothing where that the rentals are going down or anything like that. I think a lot of this that's keeping these prices high is we still have an inventory shortage. People, we see all these, actives going on there, and man, everyone wants to scream 2008. That's all they want to scream is 2008. Well, this inventory is an issue, okay? And then also, we're in Florida. Okay, Florida is one of those states that's sucking people from these other states, okay? Texas is one of them too, and I think Arizona. But I mean, Florida's getting a lot coming in here, and that's helping push price, but also the inventory. Yeah, you see all these actives, but take a look at this chart. Okay, for everyone out there screaming 2008, look at this. This is the supply of homes, okay? Now this charts back all the way to 1999, all the way till today, okay? Now this here, look at that. This is the average month supply. In 2008, look at that. The month supply was 10.4. And 2007, 8.9. And even 09 and 10, look at that, 8.8, 9.4. They didn't start really dropping down until 2011. Okay, now look where we're at here. Okay, yeah, last year, of course, during all the frantic buying, we're 2.3, and yes, now because we got more on the market, we're at 3.0. But folks, that 3-month supply is still low. I mean, some numbers you just got to deal with. I mean, supply and demand, okay? And there's still plenty of people out there looking. Me personally, I had 2 listings go under contract this last week. So people, and I'm still showing houses. So people are still looking to buy, all right? And they're just dealing with the interest rates right now. Because generally, if the interest rates are a little higher, now they could go a lot higher. I mean, I'm not one of those people that knows this, okay? And if you know, then you probably are into insider trading, which is a whole nother thing. But we don't know. We do anticipate, and the stock market showed this week, that when the Feds meet this month, they're looking at jumping it. They're saying three quarters of a point. And they're talking about every month through the rest of the year. But if you're buying in now, okay, and you get something and you refinance in a couple of years, then, I mean, you're okay. I mean, this is a real problem, these interest rates, as far as people selling the houses too. They could affect some of the people withdrawing or just letting their houses expire, because think about it. Some people, they probably refinanced last year. Now, they didn't buy, but maybe they bought several years ago. And I was one of them. I had a rate that was 5.5%. And so then last year I refinanced to 3%, and I've got, saved a few $100 a month. And a lot of people probably did the same thing. Well, now if those people that refinance, they got these 3% mortgages or less, and now they got to go buy something, they're thinking like, well, I'm getting less for my house now, and then I got to, pay more, 6% or better. Maybe I don't really want to sell right now. So that may lead to this inventory problem also. All right, let's take a look at these charts and see what sold below list, at list, and above list. Okay, when we look here at week 18, okay, we're looking at those homes that sold at $500,000 and up, and that dropped to 21% this week. You know what? Maybe that had some impact on why that price per square foot went down. Yeah, that's what some people were saying. So that was quite a bit. Dropped 6%, Now, last week, though, it was like 27%, so it actually went up, but the price per square foot was still down. So I don't know if there's much correlation there, but there could be a little something to it. Homes that sold under list, 65%, pretty much the same as last week. Homes that sold at list, 17%, about the same, and homes that sold above list, 18%. Okay, now, are some of these buyers right now, that like when we saw it going up, maybe buyers that were in the market last year and got screwed because of all the cash buyers and investors sucking up a large percentage of the purchases. So you were competing against 10, 20 or more people, you know, bidding on a house, and they were driving those prices up, you know, above list to ridiculous numbers. And so these people just checked out of the market, said they don't stand a chance, especially if you're a first-time home buyer with an FHA or a VA loan and you're going against all these cash buyers. You didn't stand a chance. And so some of them could be getting into market now. And also maybe some are weighing, like what I was talking about. Okay, you're paying a little more interest rate now and all, but you're getting the house for a lot less money than last year, and you're getting the house that you want. You're out there shopping again, you're looking, and you see like, okay, this is where I want to live, this is the neighborhood I want to be in, this is the type of house, and now I've got a few to choose from because I got a little more inventory, so things could be a little bit better. Although there are still some multiple offers out there. So things like, especially closer to the Jacksonville center, that area there and along the coast, you still see some of that. Of course, nothing like last week. Now let's look at the new construction and see how those numbers paired out. Okay, here we are, week 18, and you can compare it with the other weeks when we started keeping track of new construction. We didn't start until week 10, but sold under list 35%, so that was an increase over last week. Homes that sold at list 37%, and homes sold above list 28%. So the big hit there was above list definitely dropped, and the under list took it over, and the ones that sold at list kind of stayed a little pretty much stable. All right, now you know, it's like we saw the construction numbers go up for solds. Okay, can it be because, you know, they're selling below list, so people thought they were getting some deals? And I mean, you don't know. You know, it's something. I was out doing a video walking for a neighborhood in E-Town. I'm not going to say which one it is yet. You'll see the video when it comes up. But I was walking it was a lot of new construction because that's what's there in E-Town. It's a new development, one of those planned communities. And as I'm walking around, I'm seeing a lot of sold signs. Okay, so, you know, and these homes were like, you know, high fives and 600,000, some 700,000. So, you know, I mean, things are still being sold, you know. So we'll see. Let's check out those foreclosure numbers and see how they compare with last week. All right, here we look at those foreclosure numbers, and what we're seeing is the foreclosures were 11, pre-foreclosures 11, short sales 5, and total is 27. And based on what we've got as far as actives, it's about the same, you know, less than 0.5%. You know, I see still a bunch of other realtors and other people, you know, but I don't see them in North Florida. So I guess maybe it is in the other areas. Talking about how these foreclosures are surging. Well, you know, I just gave you the numbers right here that we've got off our MLS, and I don't see the surge. In fact, I see it, you know, a lot less than what average is. And all that forbearance stuff ended, you know, a while ago. So, you know, I don't know. I don't see it. You know, this is all part of what leads to that bubble. You know, in '08, you know, the big 2008 that everyone loves to talk about. That's when the foreclosures, I mean, were going through the roof. But man, lending practices were different then. A lot of things. Now things are a little bit tighter. Also, keep in mind, a lot of people have a lot of equity in their homes over these last couple of years. What happened? And some of those people, say they fall behind in their payments, they could probably sell their house and get into something, have to downsize, get something smaller, you know, but still not go into foreclosure. And that could have a big part of why we're seeing these numbers here. All right, now to the part that some people just hate, you know, but I love showing it because it's real numbers it's showing, and everyone, you know, you can look at it however you want. I'm just showing you an example, and this is where I pick a house and we look at, you know, what people bought it for, what they sold it for, different time frames, and every week I kind of, you know, change things up a little bit with it. So let's take a look at this house. Now this house was one of those homes that sold for below list price. So it's that big headline Everything's crashing, okay, below list price. So, but first let's take a look at a headline, and then we're going to look at this house. Okay, the headline here from the Washington Post says, home prices are expected to fall but not crash. All right. I agree with this. Let's see here. And of course, they're saying right there, the impeding quick reversal is mostly due to the recent surge in mortgage rates. Well, yeah, of course. As we see what they're saying here in the article, that that the prices are set to fall throughout much of the country, and most places will experience only modest declines over the next couple of years, not months, but years. But the places where prices surged in the good times will suffer bigger declines in the tough times ahead. Okay, and then of course the impeding quick reversal in house prices is mostly due to the recent surge in mortgage rates. Well, it's more than just that. We got inflation too, okay, that you have to deal with. So people are spending their disposable income that they could have used for a home mortgage. Now they got to spend it on just food, and gas. Even though gas is down from the $5 a gallon average, it's still overpriced from where it was, a few years ago. So, that inflation thing is really killing people. And then, like I was alluding to before, a lot of people are charging on their credit cards, so it screws up their debt to income ratio too. All right, let's look at that house. Okay, now remember the homes that sold under list, 65%, as we see here. Okay, now this here was public information, came from the tax rules, and let's just forget about all the whole history of it. Let's just focus here on in 2003 when they bought it for $404,000. This person did. Okay, now they held on to it and ended up selling it. They bought it in 2003, ended up selling it in 2020. Okay, for $579,400, and I do think they put some improvements in it too. 2 points here. Okay, first of all, I've had people say that like when I show these comparisons of because this was bought before the '08 crash. Okay, and my point was that if people still ride things out even after a crash, you still can make out, and that's what exactly happened here. These people rode out that crash when everything, went down into the toilet. So they lived through that and still were able to sell it for that price there, okay? Now, when you look at this and you see, these people say, no, they would tell me, like, no one holds their house for 16 years, 17 years. Well, I do, and this person did. Okay, just my point. Okay, and so they went through the crash. They hold on to it. Some people held on to it. So let's check it out and see what this house was listed for and what it ended up selling for. All right, now here we are where they bought it in 2020. Okay, $579,400. So let's look at the MLS sheet. Okay, on the MLS, there we show where they bought it then, just basically 2 years. Now, when they first bought it back then, 2 years ago, it was on the market for 120 days, okay? It sold here this last week for $795,000. It was on the market 45 days in this market, okay? So here's another thing, 45 days, I am seeing increase times on the market, but still 45 is good. See, we're getting more normal, like 60 days or more for selling a house instead of this crazy 60 hours. So this house listed for $850,000, a $55,000 drop. So you know what the headline is, because everyone loves the negative headlines. All right, man, the market's crashing, everything's going to hell. $55,000 below list price. Well, yeah, but look what they bought it for 2 years ago and sold it now and still made it. And now I happen to look into the MLS and see that they may not have put a whole lot in, because when they bought it, there was a lot of stuff that was already newer in the house. So I don't know, maybe they would have refinished the floors or something like that. I don't think they put a lot into it. But with the market, they got it. And see, these housing prices, man, I mean, they're staying up there in a lot of places. So again, you know, I give you all this information and show you this stuff and compare and see, you know, I mean, you know, is that bubble really about to burst?